Hello everyone. Welcome to this session on Power BI DAX by Intellipaat. Today on this session, we'll be seeing how to write DAX expressions for creating columns, tables and measures in Power BI, which help us to get more insights of our data, which in turn helps us to make better business decisions. So let's get started by looking at the agenda. So in this session, we'll be seeing first what is DAX and why we have to use DAX and what are the fundamental concepts of DAX and what are the available functions we have in DAX and some of the text functions, logical functions, followed by date and time functions and information functions. And then we'll be seeing some of the further learning in Power BI. So in this session, we'll be seeing some of the most commonly used functions and we'll try to run it on the Power BI desktop so that we'll have a better understanding of how Power BI exactly works. So before getting started, please do like and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss any updates. Let's get started. We'll start it with what is DAX. So data analysis expression or DAX is a formula language which has more than 200 functions, constants and operators. So basically with the help of this DAX, we'll be creating a formula or expression which is going to return some single or more values and help us to perform some calculation on our data. As I've told earlier, with the help of this DAX, we will be creating calculated columns, measures, and tables based on our requirements. But why we have to use DAX? You can also create this Power BI report without even using any formula and get insights from your data. And what is the use of this DAX? Let's assume we want to compare year by year sales, that is this year with the previous year sale, or compare the sales with different categories. All these can be achieved only with the help of DAX. So basically, if you get the data you want, then it will be easy for you to solve the real world problems in a better way and also to get more insights of your data. So this is what about DAX is. To write any DAX expression, we should be knowing some of the fundamentals of DAX. So this helps us understanding how to write a basic expression or a column, anything we want. So these are the three fundamentals of DAX which we should be knowing before starting to write any DAX expression. So the first one is the syntax, then the context, and then the function. So these three makes the foundation of any DAX expression we want to write. Let's get started with the first one, syntax. So usually a syntax includes various things which is going to make up a formula or an expression. So if you are familiar with programming languages, you would have come across what syntax exactly is. But if you are new to this, syntax is basically a grammar for using any programming languages. So here I have taken a simple syntax of measure. So this is a DAX expression. So to understand this expression in a better way, let's split this expression into different parts. The first one is going to be the measure name. That is the total sales is the measure name or column name or anything based on your requirement. This can be user defined, but make sure you give a name such that it is related to your calculation you're performing. And the second one is the equal to sign, which is going to indicate the beginning of the formula. And the third one is the DAX function. So here all the DAX function we will be entering in caps. And here I have taken a sum function. And the next one, fourth one is the parenthesis we have. So inside the parenthesis are the arguments or the parameters which we are going to pass to this function sum. So in this case, we are referencing the sales, that is the table, and inside which the sales amount is the column we have. So basically, this expression is going to calculate the number we have in the sales amount column and give the result as the total sales. To understand this better, let's try out in our Power BI desktop so that we'll understand how it exactly works. So in my Power BI desktop, I'm using Adventure Work Sales. This is available in the online. You can get it for free, this data source. So I'm going to create a measure to just understand how a basic DAX expression works, how to write it. So first we are going to give total sales as the measure name, and the main feature of Power BI will be seen now. So see, once you just type it, it is going to give you all the suggestions it has, all the function it has in the Power BI desktop. So we can just easily, so even if a person doesn't know what to use, how to use it, and once you give the function name, it is also going to tell you what you have to write inside that. As you can see here, some column name. So inside the sum function, we have to write some column name. So that column name here we are going to take as, it's better if you always write it with the table name, sales amount. My column name is going to be sales amount. Close it. Once you finish writing an expression, enter it so that a measure will be created. So just drag and drop to the visualization area to see what it is. Make a card visual. So this is the total sales of our sales column. So this is quite easy to get it. Congratulations for creating your first measure using a DAX expression. This is so simple. You can just get it with one line expression. Let's get back to our PPT. Now we have understood the syntax part of DAX. Let's get to the next one, which is the context. So it is an important concept in writing any DAX expression, which is going to enable you building high performance and dynamic analysis. So the context in DAX are two types, row context and filter context. First, we'll see what is row context is. The row context is the most commonly used one, and it is a simple one also. This we will be using in many of the expressions we write in our data model. So basically, this row context is going to uh, applies to each row. It is going to check each row in the table to which the filter is applied. So here only one filter will be applied. This is the major difference between the row context and the filter context. So in filter context, we will be having more than one filters just to reduce the values we have in the calculation. That is what is filter context is, and it is quite little hard to understand also. So to understand this context in a better way, we have a formula over here. So to understand any DAX formula, just split it into parts so that it will be easy for you to understand. So here, the first one, UK sales, is the measure name or the column name. And the second one is the equal to sign to just to tell the formula is starting. And the third one is the function name. Here we are using the calculate function, which is the most commonly used function. If you have a data model, for sure you'll be using this calculate function at least once. So what this calculate function basically does is, it is going to take two parameters. The first one is the column name and the second one is the filter. So this expression is an example for row context. Since it has one filter in it, so we are going to filter out the rows in the total sales column based on this country is equal to UK filter. So all the sales which are in that country will be returned as a result to the UK sales column. So this is what about context is. Uh, the next one we'll be seeing is the functions index. Basically, functions we write in all the programming languages to perform any task. The same way in DAX also, there are the predefined formulas to perform some calculation, which takes two or more arguments and returns one or more results. So in DAX, the arguments can be required parameters or the optional. It is not necessary that all the arguments are required in a function. There are optional parameters as well. As we have seen in the Power BI desktop, it is going to even show you whether it is a required parameter or an optional parameter. So then here we are going to see these four functions in DAX, that is date and time, text, logical, and information function. There are a lot of functions we have in DAX, but we are going to see these four most commonly used ones. Let's start it with the text function. So basically this text function is going to work on string values. As the name indicates, it is going to work on strings. If you're going to provide any numeric values or other than text values, if you're going to provide, it is not going to consider it. So the first text function we are going to see is the concatenate function. So this function basically going to combine two strings into a one string. So this mainly helps in creating a column like full name, concatenating the first name and the last name. That would be a great example for concatenating function. So the first we should understand the syntax as well. So as we have seen already, the first thing will be the function name, and then inside the parenthesis, it is going to have the arguments. Here it takes two arguments, the first string and the second string, which we are going to separate with the help of a comma. And as a result, we'll be getting the concatenation of two strings. Let's try that and see. Let's create a new measure over here. Now let's just try how a concatenate function works. So this name is concatenate. Here I'm just going to type. So you can pass the columns as well as the input, but here I'm just going to pass the direct input. As usual, once you're done, press enter. So the hello world is printed and this concatenate is just the measure name. So this is how a concatenate function works. This you can apply based on your requirement. If you have a column name or a table, you can reference it with the table and the column name and combine those two columns. Since I just worked on with the direct example. Let's get back. So this is the first text function we saw just now. The second text functions we have is the upper. This we all know that it is upper, as the name indicates. It is going to just convert the string to a uppercase. Make sure you, when you are reading some function, make sure you know the syntax of it properly so that it will be easy for you. If you don't know also, it's fine, because Power BI is going to give you suggestions. When once you just type U, it is going to give you the suggestion. So the upper is going to take only one parameter and just convert that into a uppercase. Just convert that same string into uppercase. Just try out this on your own so that you'll have a better understanding. The next one is the logical functions. So the logical function basically returns values in your expression, either true or false, based on your logical condition you are providing. So we'll see. So this is the most commonly used one, not only in DAX, in any of the programming language, you will be using this if is very common one. So this is going to check a condition and returns a value whether it is true or not. So the syntax is just type the function name and then give the condition and then print true or false. If you're not typing the false also, it's fine, because once the second value is not printed, it is going to take it as blank. Let's try this out as well. Delete a measure. To easily identify it, I'm just giving it like this. There, a simple 9 greater than. Give a different rule. the result is false, it is going to print the false statement. Nine is of course not greater than 10, so it produces a result false. Let's get back and see some more logical functions we have. So this is the if function, and the next one is very obvious, that the and function. So this is going to return you true values if both the condition we are specifying. As you see the syntax, inside the and function, we are going to pass two arguments. So the logical one and the logical two. This is not like arguments, this is going to be the conditions. So if these two conditions are true, then it will return as true or false. If it is true, both the conditions should be true. That is what the main thing. And works when both the conditions are true. The next one we have is or. So this is going to return the true statement if one of the condition itself is true. If any one, we are going to provide two conditions. In that, if any one condition is true, it is going to give the result as true. Try out these as well. These are some of the basic ones, so we can try it on our own itself. So the next one we will be seeing is the date and time function. This date and time function, if you have worked with Excel already, then this is just similar. This is going to work just similar to the functions we use in the Excel. So here we have the date related to date and time, like month, year, all these we can get it easily. So first function in the date and time is month. So this is going to return the month as a number. So as you see here, the month, the date time can be in any format. There are different date formats we have with the year, without the year, with the slash or anything. That date format can be anything. So just that date time we are going to pass as an argument, like this example. So this inside this, it is going to only take June and then print 6 as the output. Let's try that out. I'm going to create a month. It is not necessary that it should be same as the function name. Just for my convenience, I'm just giving month logically. Here my drag it, make it a card visual. The 6 is displayed over here as a result. Since we have passed June as a month, it gave a result 6. This is one of the date and time function. Instead of month, you can use day, date, year. The same thing. If you try, you'll be getting the different things. The next date and time function we have is the date. So this is going to return the count of interval. So this is just going to give the difference based on the interval you are providing. So as you see the syntax, you have the date with 3 parameters. So first you have to give the start date, then the end date, then the interval you have to specify. So it is going to calculate, suppose in the example we have specified year, and these two are going to be some date thing. So this is going to calculate the difference between these two dates based on the year. Suppose like we have in this 2008 and in this 2012, then it is going to return 4 as your year. That is the 4 as your date. So this is basic. Instead of year, you can pass days. You can count the number of days between the start date and the end date. And also you can calculate the month or quarter, anything you can calculate with this datetef function. So the next one we are going to see is the information function, which evaluates a value or columns provided as an argument to another function, and it is going to just inform you whether it matches with the expected value. Something like a check, like whether this value is presented in the table or not, whether it is blank or not, whether it has error. All these kind of functions are known as information functions in DAX. So the first information function we'll be seeing is the contains. So this function is going to check for the specified value we are giving in the column or in the table, and if the column name or the value exists, it is going to return true. Otherwise, it is going to return false. Let's try this out. So contains my table is pattern sales, and inside which I'm going to check the column product key. Product key, and the value inside the product key should be this. You can pass many column names as well. You can check many columns as well. So I'm going to pass one more column. The customer key, and then I'm going to check the customer. So inside the fact internet sales table, we are going to check the product key with this value and the customer key with this value. If it is existing in that table, it is going to give a true. Otherwise, it is going to print false. So it is false. So that information, that product key with that value and the customer key with that value is not there in the table patent internet sales which we searched. So it returned a result false. So the next thing, so these are some of the functions, basically like most commonly used functions in the DAX. There are a lot of functions you can try out. And the next thing, if you want to further continue in this Power BI field or you want to become a Power BI developer, then you should have a certification. So for that, we provide you a Power BI course. Check out that in the Intellipaat website to get more details about that. And other than this, we also have blogs and YouTube free videos where you can check out not only about Power BI, but about various technologies you can find out. And also, if you have any queries, you can reach out to us to the Power BI or any community. Regarding Power BI, you can reach out to Power BI community. So with this, we have come to the end of the session, guys. I hope this session was useful to you. But the one thing which I will tell is please do practice more of DAX functions. There are more than 200 functions, which obviously cannot be taught in a half an hour session. So you can practice more on your own so that you will understand more about what is DAX, how you have to use it, where you can use it, all those. So if this session was useful, please go and hit the like button and also subscribe to our Intellipaat channel to get more updates. So if you want to talk to the sales executives as well, you can reach out to this number which is displayed over here, or you can drop a mail to this email, sales@intellipaat.com. Thank you guys. Have a great day.